So Japan, what's not to love as a local from Hawaii? I mean, they have amazing food, amazing shopping, things that we locals in Hawaii absolutely love. And as a local born and raised in Hawaii, I want to offer some tips for traveling to Japan. And while there are other travel guides out there for tips on traveling to Japan, I thought I'd make one just for those Hawaii people. And let me know if you have any travel tips to Japan in the comments below. Tip number one is pace yourself. You don't have to do everything, buy everything, and eat everything on your first trip to Japan. It's kind of like how we tell visitors who come to Hawaii that they don't have to do everything on one trip. Like if you're planning on coming to Hawaii, I would say plan on a vacation just for Oahu, and then after that, on your second or any subsequent trips, maybe you can go out to the neighbor islands. Because you don't want to get vacation burnout, which can definitely happen if you try to do too much in such a short period of time. Hey, gyukaku, we got that too. And I think the same thing can happen here in Japan. We try to plan too much, try to eat all the foods, and it's like, okay, calm down, try calm down a little bit. Just know that you'll be able to do all those things in future trips. I mean, Japan's a big place, and I know there's that temptation to want to do everything and eat everything on that first or even second initial trip. But what I found is if you just kind of plan for your first trip, just to try to do a few things, and then after that, you expand that circle, introducing new foods, new experiences. It's a nicer experience each and every time you go to Japan. So for example, on my first trip to Japan, I went to Shizuoka and Yokohama, which is a little bit further outside of dense Tokyo. And it was really great. I got to eat some good food, I got to go to an onsen, and of course I got to ride the train. Experiences that I had never done before. And on my second and third trip, I spent more time in Shinjuku, which is more in the Tokyo area. Lots more buildings, shopping, dense city life. Very different, but it was really fun. Tried new foods, did new things. I even went to an onsen town that trip. It was very interesting. I still remember where you got undressed and you actually entered like the onsen area was like this long hallway of what I would say a hallway of shame. I was naked and I had to walk down this hallway. Everyone who was using the onsen, all the men, could like watch you, and it was like embarrassing for me. And of course, when it comes to food, I tried ramen, which was really good. Not really a sushi person or raw fish person, but I did try a lot of the different snacks. I even had the experience of eating what is, I guess, considered a traditional Japanese meal. It's like a 2-hour meal. Like it takes 2 hours to eat all the food, and they serve it to you in all these different courses. The thing is, the food is oftentimes very small portions. And so it was like this slow food marathon where I was just eating and I was getting full, not because the food was particularly in large quantities, it was very excellent food, but it was just the amount of time it took to eat all of the food was quite a marathon. So all this to say, pace yourself, slow down. No need to go nuts the first time or second time. Just introduce some nice foods, try some new experiences. And I say each time, maybe try something a little bit new. By the way, we're going to Mr. Donut today. My wife really wanted to go there, and we're gonna try some of the Pokemon donuts. We didn't try that last time we were here, so looking forward to trying that. The second thing I'd recommend is pack less than you think, because you can buy a lot of stuff here, but also make sure you have extra room, like extra luggage space, because you're gonna buy a lot of stuff and bring back plenty of souvenirs. I don't know if a lot of local people travel a lot these days. I know it can be kind of expensive to travel outside the state, but coming to Japan is nothing like going to Kauai or Big Island for the weekend. So I highly recommend bringing more luggage and having more room than you think, because you're gonna buy a lot of gifts, especially if you got a lot of family and friends back home, because coming to Japan is pretty special. You're gonna wanna make room for a lot of those interesting snacks that we just don't have in America or in Hawaii, but there's so many little like interesting like knickknacks and gadgets and I don't know what you call it, like inventions that we just don't have. A couple of things that come to mind. There was this ladle holder that I had seen at this store where you can put the ladle in like a little holder so it doesn't spill on your counter. There's also this toothpaste roller where you actually could put your toothpaste in there and squeeze it and roll it so that the bottom part of the toothpaste wouldn't like accumulate. Because if you're like me, you kind of just squeeze the tube anywhere and then it's really hard to squeeze the toothpaste out at the end. But trust me, you will be going to all kinds of places, buying all kinds of things, even things you didn't even want to buy, you end up buying. Like on this trip in particular, I'm looking for work clothes, work pants, but that's slowly expanding to new shoes and maybe a new bag. I don't know, we'll see what my wife says. But it's like amazing where you have an objective, like a list of things you want to buy, and it just, you're surrounded by all this stuff. And you're like, huh, I really want that. You're just in buying mode. I guess that's what it means to be a tourist. And on this particular trip, we're going to actually be buying another suitcase. We brought 2 suitcases with us, one for the boys and one for us. And we'll be buying a 3rd suitcase here to probably fill up with whatever gifts we have and other things. And we'll be bringing that back home. Now, I'm not saying that you have to do that, buy a suitcase every time you go to Japan, but I know people who, they pack one suitcase and they put it inside another suitcase, so they have an empty suitcase in another suitcase, so that when they come back home, their second suitcase is then filled with all kinds of gifts and things. And you may be thinking, how am I gonna get all this luggage back to the airport? Because it's kind of humbug, right? You gotta bring it on the train or on the bus. But Japan has this wonderful system where they can actually pick up your baggage where you're staying, and then you just go to the airport and it's right there for you. Absolutely amazing. I wish we had that in Hawaii. By the way, here's a classic vending machine. Oh my gosh. 130 yen for Coke. Still pretty good. And the final tip would be try to do ordinary stuff. You know, like I think people want to go and do all the temples and the cultural things, and again, all the foods and the touristy stuff. I think that's really good. But every time I've been to Japan, I try to go to a grocery store. I try to do things that I think normal people do, just because I just want to see how it is. Because Japan can be pretty flashy. There's a lot of stuff going on, especially at night. But like when you go to a grocery store, I feel like you just see ordinary people doing their ordinary things, and it's so good to like just see something that we have in common. Because I feel like going to a grocery store is just one of those international things that everyone does in all countries. And so it's really interesting to kind of compare that experience. And of course, when you go there, you're gonna see, especially compared to Hawaii, you're gonna see all of the super nice produce that is so cheap, you can't even believe it. I mean, we're not talking mainland cheap here. We're talking like even more cheap than on the mainland. And the quality of the food, as my wife can tell you, is absolutely incredible. Produce is almost cartoon-like in how big it looks, and the taste is just amazing. My son absolutely loves the mikan, or the mandarin oranges here, way more than he likes back in Hawaii. And of course the rice, oh my gosh. For those Hawaii people who love rice, just buy some regular rice. Make some rice if you can. Oh, it's so good. I know it sounds uneventful, and maybe some people might think it's actually kind of boring, but I just think it keeps you grounded. You just kind of get a little taste of maybe what life would be like here. And I've often wondered why Japanese tourists, when they come to Hawaii, they like to go to Whole Foods and they like to go grocery shopping. I used to think that's so strange. Like, why would you want to go grocery shopping at Whole Foods? But having been in Japan now, I kind of understand maybe the appeal of that. Because I think just doing ordinary things adds a flavor of authenticity and genuineness that you may miss if you just go off and do all the touristy things, all the things that us locals kind of complain about when visitors visit our home. And so, yeah, I'd say just try to make some time for ordinary and maybe mundane things. Oh, are we lost? Oh yeah, we're going the right way. Yep, we're going the right way. Keep going. There it is. Okay, just some quick bonus tips here for you local guys. I know probably a lot already, but just a quick bonus tip for some of you local guys. Number one, because they use a lot of coins here, I'd say buy a good coin purse. I'll show you a picture of the coin purse that I use. I was given that as a gift before my first trip to Japan. Absolutely amazing, because you gotta access coins and throw your coins kind of hard if you're digging through your pockets and you know, you're trying to find the right size coin. You just can't see. So I'd say try to get a good coin purse if you can. Second tip, just like in Hawaii, you gotta bring your own shopping bag. So make sure you bring your own shopping bag here, because if not, they're gonna charge you. Not that expensive, but just a little added something and kind of a waste. And the third thing, gotta walk on the left side of everything, because everything is kind of backwards, right, compared to in Hawaii. So you kind of walk on the right side of the sidewalk or the right side of the escalator. you gotta go on the left side. So like this. Still kind of throws me off as a local. Sometimes we walk on the right, sometimes we walk in the middle, sometimes we just do whatever we like. So I just say, kind of be aware of that. Gotta walk on the left side. We're almost there for Mr. Donut. We're getting close. It's on the right side, so we're on the right side of the street. Here it is! Yay! We made it. Oh, what happened? No Pokemon? Oh, that's okay. It's all right, not a big deal. Oh, bummer, they don't have the Pokemon donuts. That's what we're here for, but that's okay. Still wonderful donuts here. And with that, Japan is a wonderful place to visit if you get the opportunity. I'd say save up and come and have a good time. I absolutely love it every single time I come here. If you do come to Japan, make sure you bring some of that aloha with you. We're gonna enjoy these donuts. Thanks for watching, and aloha. Aloha to you. They don't have the donut that she wanted.
30 minutes.
We'll be back.
Maybe I'll buy it.
Hello.